Who's there? It's me. Welcome. It's totally Tuesday. We are here for our Oracle manifestation reading using the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins. This is one of Doreen Virtue's decks. They're officially out of print, I believe, but sometimes there's bootleg copies out there in the world, but my friend got one and she said it wasn't as good, so I like to use these Oracle decks for some of our weekly segments together so we can all enjoy the rare cards that are hard to find now. All right, let's see. What does this week have in store for our dreams and our goals and our pursuits and the things that we're trying to call in and manifest into our lives? Gosh, like all of the messages so far this week have been, well, the last couple of weeks have been really asking us to appreciate moments where we can have the things that trigger us highlighted so that we can then examine, okay, where is the root of this sadness? Where is the root of this frustration? Where is the root of this week? It's anger. And we had some more hints thrown our way on Sunday's weekly energy forecast and yesterday's anchor message that hinted that we could really make headway in unblocking what is preventing us from being further along, or what can unblock the flow of even more momentum and harmony and abundance and opportunity and love coming in, is to focus on father healing. So do you have anger issues resulting from father wounds from your early childhood or from your adolescence? Go back and look at those things, because chances are there was something that was implanted in your subconscious at the time. Remember, subconscious patterns are put in place when we are very impressionable, and usually it's in a heightened emotional state where we're kind of overwhelmed and we don't have the faculties to process what's happening, and we misunderstand the situation. And you know, in that heightened, vulnerable, distracted state, things can slip in because we're not conscious, right? And so our mind fills in the gaps and it creates a story around the event in order to contextualize and start narrating a survival plan. That's what the ego does. It's trying to help prepare you, right? So it's like, all right, well, it's coming up, you know, with reasons for why there were, you know, upsets between maybe you and your father. And so the mind comes up with these assumptions and things and workarounds so that you can avoid that thing happening again by avoiding that behavior or trying to set yourself up to, you know, overgive so that someone won't react in a certain way. So there's so many patterns that can be implanted at an early age, especially when it has to do with our parents, because our parents, like, we depend on them to survive, right? So the stakes are high, or at least they are in our perception. And so anything that makes us feel like we've upset our parents on a subconscious level makes us feel like we're threatened, and our survival is threatened, because if we're not loved, if we don't have belonging, if we don't have community and village and shelter, then we're left out to the wolves, essentially. That's, you know, kind of what our primal mind is kind of weighing everything against, and so it doesn't have, you know, the context or the reasoning, right? So I would say focus this week, or just remember to stay vigilant when things come up, and think about how that might tie into your father wounds or patterns that have resulted from father wounds. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, and then we're just like finishing up, like tying up loose ends in any kind of like habits and things that aren't serving us any longer, any toxic relationships that need to be, you know, reevaluated or maybe left behind. we're really setting ourselves up for this new cycle to start off on its best foot forward. And we're also letting go of like negative patterns, negative mindsets, anything that's draining our energy or our focus or our emotion or draining us from our optimism or our enthusiasm. Anything that's causing apathy, we just want to let go of and get out of our system, clear it away so that we can be fully unblocked to move forward. That was another thing that came up already, was unblocking our root chakra. All right, you guys, what do we need to know so that we can really step into our potential in this coming week? What can we do? How should we focus our energy? What will be helpful for us to be aware of? Ooh, oh my gosh, I just envisioned this card. I was like, I hope we get a new day. Oh my God, a new dawn. So exciting. The worst is now behind you and positive new experiences are on the horizon. Yay! Such good news, because you know, these last few weeks, they've just been really heavy. I mean, there's just been so much emotional things we've been sifting through, so many other layers of patterns that we've been faced with to try to overcome, and just the willpower to do that has taken like nuclear levels of power from us, right? We're just tired, and then there's been all the holidays and the hubbub from all of that, and it's just I don't know if anybody had to get on the healthcare marketplace and sign up for a new healthcare plan. Like, I know that is just something that like, it just, it drains me of so much energy. That kind of stale, like, adulting. I'm just like, not cut out for it. So all of that was very daunting. I've had other things that have just been draining. So it's so nice to hear that the worst is behind us, even though some of that stuff sounds small. It's just been like a cumulative pile up of huge major events over the last few years. And then we've been rounding out into this like grand finale of this like conclusion of this very difficult chapter. And so it's just felt like just every nuisance and like annoyance has like come up on the way out. It's like nothing could be easy, just like finishing up this cycle, right? It's just like, let's get in all the last minute heartaches and inconveniences and catastrophes. Come on, let's get all this in while we can before the credits roll and we start next season. So it's great. Curtain closed. The worst is behind us. A new dawn is ahead of us. So excited. And positive new experiences are on the horizon. Much to be grateful for. So much to look forward to. So excited. All right. What else? What else is going to help us this week? So just having hope and a positive outlook is going to just open up so much energy. You know, when your nervous system isn't locked up in rigidity and fear, that allows just so much to flow through you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, stay optimistic. Okay, staying on this theme. Your dreams are coming true. Do not quit right before the miracle occurs. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was just scrolling on someone's page and he had mentioned something. It was like in his reel, there was like, I don't know, it cut off. It was like maybe in the story, it was a preview to the reel, but it was like Thomas Edison said something about most people don't succeed because they quit just before they fail because they quit just before they succeed because they think they're failing or whatever. So remember, we've been talking about the 4 phases of creation. And phase 3 of creation is when you have been putting in all the effort, you've been sharing outside of your comfort zone for the sake of the greater good. You have been putting in the effort, you've been making the changes, you've been taking the risks, you've been putting yourself out there, you've been going against all odds, and everything was supposed to work out and it just doesn't look like it's going to. This is that moment. That's the test. This is the initiation moment that we're in right now, when everything looks dark and it just looks like that was it. It was just a dud. Everything just sort of like fell flat. Keep pushing, keep showing up, stay diligent, stay vigilant. Don't rest on your laurels now because your dreams are about to come through. It's just, we're in that final stretch, and this is part of the test. The universe is like, how bad do you want it? Like, are you going to make it happen? Are you going to stick with this once you get it? Or are you going to, take it for granted? So this is where we learn to cut our teeth. We learn to have that long-term perseverance where we can keep putting an effort in to maintain the vessel that we've created, right? And not just let it fall to pieces once we have everything and we're all happy and satisfied. We have fat bellies, right? And we're tired and we want to, go to sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Stay optimistic. Your dreams are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle happens. So yeah, no matter what that might be, whatever category of your life we're talking about, if it looks like, it's all for naught, it is not all for naught. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. Holy bajoli. So yesterday I'd mentioned that when I did last January, I did a whole playlist on 2022 predictions. And I did a couple of videos just about the year, and then I went and did a video about each month. And over the course of the year, we were had reoccurring themes of mother and father healing. And so over the last couple of days with the father healing card that had come up earlier in the week, I was like, okay, this feels like we're at this culmination of this father healing, and it's not like we're ever going to be completely done with it, but for the huge phase that we're in order to get to this next level of life, it's like a lot of work can be done now to help us over the hump. And so that was part of the focus that we were looking into. Well, also, mother healing was an issue that was coming up alternatively all year round. And I feel like during the end of the year, we were supposed to kind of have a big culmination where we had a big breakthrough with our mother healing. So, this has an effect on our love life, on our finances, especially mother wounds because they affect your self-worth. I believe father does too, but I think father really has a huge effect on romance, but mother has a huge effect on finance. So for your manifestations, for your finances, focus on healing the mother wound and focus on where that has affected your sense of self-worth, right? Did your mother shame you? Did she make you feel guilty? Did she make you feel small, like you had to shrink or dim yourself to fit in? The shadow parts of our parents, I would imagine, kind of probably play into the female and male version of the opponent. And the female version of the opponent makes you feel sort of sad, you feel like a failure, you feel regret, you feel guilt, you feel shame, you feel down on yourself, you feel like throwing a pity party, right? You feel victimized. You feel like a Debbie Downer. The male opponent is more about domineering, control, power, the things of lust and greed and, ambition and all of those sexy Las Vegas temptations. That's what the male Satan does. But the female Satan is the one that makes you feel terrible about yourself. So archetypally speaking, the mother wound would probably tie into shame, which takes a hit on your self-worth. And if you have low self-worth, then that is going to set the bar at how much abundance can flow into you and how much wealth, right? So if you need to improve your finances and your unblock that, then chances are you still need to do some mother healing. As your feelings toward your mother heal, your desires manifest more rapidly and accurately. Now, sometimes we can do all we can to try to improve our relationship with our parents, but our parents are still the same people. They're not necessarily on this journey with us. They have the free will to stay the way they are. And then it's not really fair for us to like show up one day and be like, well, I just want to confront you with this and I'm ready for us to have the, it's just like, well, you might, like, all you can really do is show up on your half and be different. And if they're different, great, but they might not be. And so that a lot of times makes you feel like, why am I not what am I not doing to heal this relationship? What am I doing wrong? Like, why is it not working? And don't beat yourself up, because it takes two to tango, right? So as long as you're doing your half and you're trying, doing the best you can. The way to heal the relationship, the way to heal for you, is to heal the way that you feel toward your parents. How they make you feel. Are you still triggered by them? Are you doing things a certain way because you never want to be like your parents? Are you doing things a certain way because you want to be the opposite of your parents? Or I want to be just like my parents. Like, whatever, or I want to satisfy and please my parents. I want to be obedient so that they'll approve of me and they'll love me. Like, whatever, however it is playing out that your parents are affecting your behavior now, even if your behavior is, well, I'm never going to be like them, you're still sort of like in being controlled by your parents. You're still being chained and bound by that devil energy there. So free yourself, right? Be you. Your parents are just flawed human beings. Like, forgive them the debt of being that archetypal perfect godparent that you hoped that they would be. Take them off the pedestal. Even those parents that look like those parents aren't those parents. And the kids who have those parents still have mothers and father wounds, and they still don't appreciate their parents. Every now and then you'll have those families where they just look so happy and they're all getting along and they all like each other. And I want to just be like, what? Have y'all always gotten along? Did you have good like family dynamics? Like, how did y'all get in this situation where everybody likes everyone and everybody's having fun together? So lucky, right? But yeah, so just, you don't have to approve or condone the things that your parents did. I mean, some people's parents did like super shitty things to them that were wrong and abusive. And you don't have to say, oh, I forgive you for that, that's fine. It's like, when you say you forgive them for that, you're putting down the baggage that you carry. You're not saying it's okay that you did that. You're just saying, here's all the bitterness and the rage and the anger and the disappointment and the sadness and the devastation and the heartbreak and the betrayal that I feel. And I'm going to put it down now, because I'm not going to take it with me. I'm not going to let this shadow over me and put a dark cloud over my life forever. I'm leaving it, and I'm going to go forward, and I'm not looking back. Okay. And so you're free to do whatever you want. You can dance around this pile of grief if you want to, hoard it all you'd like, but I am moving forward, and I'll see you around, and, we'll try to have no hard feelings. Best we can do, right? We ask the Holy Spirit, I'm willing to see this person differently. I am willing to grow compassion for this person and to release the hard feelings that I carry. It's very difficult. I need all the help I can get. Pray that prayer every time you get triggered, right? Just help me see it differently. Help me feel differently. Help me see this through the lens of love so that I can move forward. You don't have to approve. You don't have to feel like they got off the hook. The thing is, though, if you are bitter and angry or hurt toward these people, you're not hurting them any. They're just going to go on with their life and do the same shit they would do anyway. They're not going to think twice about it. You're not hurting anyone for carrying a grudge except for yourself. And you can actually make yourself sick, right? So mother healing will help. It will help move everything forward. It will help unblock love and money. And our final card for the week, soulmate relationship. New romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. So I think someone's been circling the runway for a minute, and we've been having cards that suggest that there's potential for a soulmate relationship to come through in our midst. So if you haven't met this person already, you might be meeting them soon. And it may be somebody that you've like already encountered, or maybe somebody you know, but there is potential for you at this moment to attract a partner that can maintain or interact with you at a soulmate level. Now, in Kabbalah, we learn that a soulmate isn't necessarily like a specific person per se. Like, there are people in your soul family, and you have lots of soulmates, right? You have a bunch of romantic soulmates, you have friend soulmates, you have family soulmates, whatnot, and you have like a soul tribe of people that you have these lessons playing out with. That is true. But in regards to like each of our relationships through life, people get like overly obsessed, like that they have to find this one specific person, and Kabbalah really doesn't see it that way at all. So it's like you have like at first in your life, you might have these like practice mates, these relationships where you're just like getting your feet wet. And then once you're able to carry on like a more mature relationship than that, then you get what's called tikkun mates, where you work out your karma and all of that stuff, and you learn to overcome weaknesses. And those are usually kind of like difficult relationships, but they are the ones where you really learn how to have a relationship, and you learn and you work out some of your stuff because you see the bulk of it, right? And so you probably have a couple of those. And then from there, if you keep progressing and evolving, you get to a point where you get that soulmate person where you've both done a lot of work on yourself, and you can come together in a conscious way, and you can, surrender to having a healthy relationship and enjoy and be happy, but also have enough realistic wherewithal to see that you're gonna have to maintain this relationship. You're going to have to put some effort in. There are going to be arguments. There need to be arguments and things like that. So the soulmate relationship is two people who basically are like, they know how to have a relationship. They're ready to have a mature, intimate relationship. They're willing to do the work together. They want to grow together. And because they've already done so much healing work on their own, when they come together, they're interdependent, and both of their cups are overflowing, right? And so they can actually be so happy and secure and stable because they're not fighting each other, that they can actually use their relationship to make the world a better place. They can affect people positively because their energy isn't all in the survival mode of keeping the relationship together or deciding whether or not they should end it, right? So that's like the dream. So basically, we keep getting hints right now that we're kind of ready for that level of a partner to come in. So be optimistic. The worst is behind us. A new dawn is approaching, right? Continue to work on the mother healing and the father healing, right? But just keep up the good work. I know that we're all so tired, but hopefully we'll have somebody to snuggle with and talk about it soon. We don't even want to talk about it. We just want to get the party started, right? Just have fun. Just move forward. It'll be great. Well, awesome, you guys. I am finishing up day 6 of 6 days in a row working, and tomorrow will be my 7th day. 2 of my work weeks butted up against each other, and they don't usually do that. So tomorrow I work, and then I finally have a couple of days off, and I can't wait because I'm insane. I'm deeply insane at this point. Ay. All right, y'all. I will holla at you tomorrow. Ciao.